thank you very much for having us. My name is Dave Erickson. I'm the unit forester here in Cal Fire San Luis Obispo, and we're a pleasure to be here. It's an honor to be here. For us, fire management is a specific subset of natural resource management that focuses on landscape scale projects that are going to protect and enhance natural resources while protecting residential and natural communities. Here in San Luis Obispo, we're conducting crush and burn operations in the Park Hill area, which is a swath of Chamise chaparral that extends about 50 to 60,000 acres on the inland portion of our unit. And so here is an example of one of our projects. We focus on using a mosaic of treatments from shaded fuel breaks to prescribed fire to crushed units to enhance biodiversity and create a diversity of age class and height class, diversity of, it's not going to work.
Sorry, there's only one USB.
Oh.
Keeping you on your feet.
Gotcha. Spacebar? No. That one.
Yep.
All right, I'll go back one. Sorry about that. All right. So yeah, like I said, our projects focus on creating a mosaic of treatments across a large-scale landscape that seek to restore ecosystems by breaking up the diversity of height and age classes across the unit to both diversify the age class and create biodiversity, enhance nutrient cycling, water yields, carbon sequestration, and creating new young growth across a unit that's also going to help suppress wildland fires. This is an example of one of our projects. As you can see, it's a mature stand of mostly chamise with oak woodland tied in. This might be an area that in the past was managed with indigenous fire as a grassland. So one of our goals is also to enhance oak rejuvenation by creating bare mineral soil for acorns to take root and oaks to grow. And so this is in 2019 prior to our treatment. Oh, that went backwards. Again. There we go. And what we've done is gone through and crushed some of the material, which has allowed that light nutrients and water to hit the ground to then open up the space for the availability of all the seeds that are underneath that mature stand that have been shaded out to then take root and grow once we run through with prescribed fire. And so when we go through, we'll crush and avoid oaks and species like manzanita as well. And so this is a photo 5 years later after we've crushed it and used prescribed fire in the understory of the oaks to treat this. And now what this has done is created a wider variety of plants at different age classes that increases biodiversity of both plants and animals, enhancing edge effects and movement corridors for wildlife species throughout this area that Luke will describe. And then it's also enhancing our suppression efforts should a wildfire come through.
So this is CAL FIRE's pre-plan for the Park Hill area, kind of operationalize some of the fuels treatments that we've done in that area and made it available. We have this in a pamphlet. It's on all of our fire engines. It identifies our staging areas, access and egress. It shows where the 450 residents are for evacuations, and it covers 46,187 acres. This is a veg map of that same area. You can see different types of chaparral pretty much dominate the entire area. So the polygons in green and blue are going to be our project boundaries that we have, and then underlaid with historic wildfires from 1950 to 1970. And then the orange is 1950 to 2000. And then up to 2020 in the darker orange. Let's see if I can point here. So on the right side of your screen, this is gonna be the pond fire that took place. Started off Wero Road in 2020, and we had some treatment areas abutted on either side using this crushing method. And when we use the crushing method, it takes a 10-hour, we call it a 10-hour live fuel, and turns it into a 10-hour dead and rearranges it. So it does a couple of things for fire suppression. On the fire suppression side, it slows the rate of spread down of that wildland fire. So when you have low relative humidity, high temperature, and high winds, this treatment actually slows down the rate of spread. So when we use this method with prescribed fire, we're doing it in more moderate conditions. We're doing it different times of the year other than peak fire season. And what that does is by turning it into a continuous 10-hour dead fuel bed, it's lower intensity burning. It allows us to burn it at multiple times of the year instead of when it likes to just burn during fire season in late August in this area, which allows us to use crews that are not normally available during peak fire season. And it also creates more of a patchy mosaic burning depending on the time of year that we're doing it. The conditions that we're able to burn it in it's a bigger window essentially is what we're looking for. This is a different project in the Parkville area. It just kind of represents areas in 21 where we just did the crushing treatment only, and then a couple areas where it was crushed, and then 2 years later, we come back and use prescribed fire in that area. And then areas in steeper slopes or exclusion areas where we perform no treatment to create different habitat. So then this photo was taken last